Hi, this is Steve Shotman, and welcome back to Icosa Media's support of Colorado Gives Day. I'm here with Jamie Duffy and Melina Speaks from Flobots.org. How's it going today?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, so how's Colorado Gives Day been going for you guys?
Well, this is our first year and we're feeling pretty good. We have everybody giving from $10 to, we had somebody name a computer workstation today for $2,500. So it's been going really well. I'm curious to see kind of the final results. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, at least it's a good way to get some exposure for all the nonprofits and get everyone thinking about it. But,
yeah.
So in regards to nonprofits, what is it that Flobots.org does?
Great. So I'll talk a little bit about just kind of who we are, what we do, what the organization does. And then I brought Adrian Molina. Molina Speaks because he's one of our teachers. So he can talk to people a little bit about what the classroom experience is like. Essentially what Flobots.org does, which one am I looking at?
You're just looking at me.
Cool. So essentially what Flobots.org does is we are working with Denver Public Schools, the Denver Housing Authority, Anschutz Foundation. We're hoping to work with Mile High United Way on this really intense quest to improve graduation rates in Denver. Our graduation rates right now are 53%. And obviously, just hearing that number sounds like a bit of a failure on our part, just as the adult community. So the kids that we're working with actually have closer to about a 12% chance of graduating from high school. So our job is to go into the public schools, to the residential treatment centers, and really give young people an incentive to stay in school, to get excited about the classroom. So what we're doing is we're teaching 4 credit classes at the high school level and at the residential treatment centers. What we're finding so far, we're a young organization, so we don't necessarily know whether or not graduation rates are improving because of our work, but what we do know for sure is that our attendance rates are high, enrollment rates at the schools that we're in are improving, so those are good indicators that the work we do is actually working. And I'll let Molina talk a little bit because I think the reason that it works is that our teachers are like this man here. They're all professional musicians, they're really engaging, and they're relevant. Kids today really need something relevant within their school day, and bringing in professional musicians from the community who have had similar experiences to these kids, who look and act like these young people who, in some ways, and who, have stories to tell themselves. I think that's the reason that the kids are really clinging to these programs.
And so, in some cases, the programs that you guys have going at the schools are a supplement, if not in some cases almost a replacement for the music programs that are going away at the schools.
Absolutely, right? Yeah. So what we're finding is that music programs across the board in the nation and then in Colorado, it's the first thing to be cut. And it's so interesting because not a lot of people are talking about the fact that graduation rates and cutting of arts and music programs go hand in hand. So schools that have music and arts programs, their graduation rates are 20%, 30% higher than schools that don't. It can be argued that, well, of course, the schools who have arts and music programs have more money just in their schools, so that's probably why the graduation rates are higher. That is true in some cases, but I think in other cases, if a kid's not necessarily an athlete, if they don't have something to engage them, what's the point? And the reality is, as necessary as it is, and as much as we need it, math and science, those kind of core classes aren't always enough for every kid. So.
Well, yeah, it seems we've had a lot of different organizations in here today, and this week we've filmed with a lot of different organizations. Grow House was just ahead of you guys.
Love them.
And it's really incredible what a lot of these organizations are doing. It is basically coming up with ideas that in some cases are maybe better replacements for the ways we used to do things.
Yep.
And in the case of music, like you were saying, and like I'm sure you can speak to, if you can create a music program outside of the school that you can bring in that's maybe a better music program, it might be more successful than doing it the traditional way that we used to. So I don't know if you want to speak a little bit to what it's like for you going actually into the schools.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the kids we work with are really intelligent, very intelligent. They just have a different form of intelligence than some of the kids who are getting straight A's at really highly, high achieving schools. So I feel like sometimes we unlock that potential, that interest, that inspiration and passion. And we do that through music and relating to young people in terms of what they're going through culturally, what they're going through socially. And we teach them about the history of music, and we go centuries back at times. And when we teach music appreciation, music fundamentals, we teach young people how to use computers to produce music. And through that process, they're learning how to utilize, just computer programs, right? And they get math credit in some of our programs through Youth on Record, where they learn how to produce music. We're working with them on language and poetry, lyrical content. They're developing English skills. They're getting interested in literature through some of our classes, where we're focusing more on the spoken word, the living word, starting with raps, but they gain an appreciation for the English language and forms of communication. And for a lot of our young people, when they're writing poetry, they're telling their stories, they're learning the importance of telling their stories, and they're in some cases getting up and speaking in front of a room for the first time, and gaining confidence in their voice. So I feel like it's very relevant, and it's just a beautiful thing to see these young people finding a sense of power, a place for their voice. We take it beyond music as well. I teach a class, Social Problems. It's a sociology course at West Career Academy, and young people are learning about the community of Denver. They're learning about what's going on in this community from a corporate perspective, small business perspective, from an activist perspective, from an artist perspective, and really engaging with their world and understanding that they can shape and create their community. They can shape and create this city, and they're getting to interact with architects who are helping us to build our youth media studio. They get to meet artists in the community who are doing big things, whether it's Jolt, who is an amazing graffiti artist locally, or the Flowbots, and learning how they can take their passions and put those passions into action and be successful on their terms, and we help them to believe they can do that.
Yeah, well, it seems like obviously you have to have some sort of standard that you hold people to with graduation rates, and of course graduating kids is important, but on the same note, if we graduate a bunch of kids with C's in math and they don't want to do math, that's not going to do much good. So in some cases, do you think your programs are allowing these kids to find new inspirations that maybe when they graduate, it doesn't matter if they graduate, when they graduate now they're excited to do something with what they've learned?
Well, I've said I've taken some inspiration by Daniel Pink and his idea that the MFA is the new MBA. And really what he's talking about is any job that can be outsourced in the United States is going to be outsourced, but you can never outsource an artist. So for us, what we're saying is we're not necessarily trying to create a generation of artists, although in a lot of capacities that would be wonderful. I think engineers are artists, architects are artists. But we're trying to really inspire a generation of creative problem solvers. So what we're seeing is that kids are graduating from high school, and even when they do graduate, like you mentioned, where's the inspiration? Where's the vision for what they want to do? Where's the sense of entrepreneurship and this idea that I can create something, as opposed to, I guess my next step is university, if I'm lucky. Otherwise, I'll just go kind of straight into this very streamlined workforce. So if our students can be the group of people who walk out of the classroom and walk off of that graduation stage and say, I have an idea. I have an idea about how I want to make the world better, and I have the talents to do it, and the reason that I have those is because somebody lit that spark in me. And so yeah, I think that we are definitely doing that. And for our teachers, we love and respect the teachers that we work with in the public schools, and the relationship has been really great. I've heard a lot of people say, well, is there any sort of animosity because you guys are essentially outsourcing the arts? The answer is no. I think that the teachers see us as a much needed break and breath of fresh air. And so now we're starting to cross collaborate on curriculum, and it's really been an excellent situation. Adrian's with the teachers every day, and it's working out very, very well. So it's still new, but we'll see, you know.
Yeah, well, it's really good to see that there's an organization, and there's obviously many more like you guys, but an organization that's really trying to make sure that the arts stay alive, because it is, like you said, the first thing that always gets cut.
Right.
So if someone does want to support the Flobots, they can give money,
Yep.
which they can go to your website. Can they volunteer? Are there other things people can do?
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, to any artists out there, we're really proud of the fact that we have employed 25 plus artists. We pay all of our artists because we want to show our kids, hey, if you're an artist, you have value and you should get paid for your work. So if there are musicians and artists who are interested in becoming teachers, they can email us. Everybody can just email us at info@flobots.org. Definitely there are volunteer opportunities. We like to say that, you know, as far as the nonprofit world goes, nobody throws a party like flobots.org. We've got a little bit of that like rock star edge to us. So we've got lots of awesome volunteer opportunities to help us throw big parties, which is how we raise a lot of our money. Anybody who has grant writing experience, we can always use some people to help with grants. And we've doubled in size in 18 months, so we can use some help with that. And then, anybody who is interested in serving on an advisory committee, on our board of directors, we're running out of a little bit of time, but our biggest news is that we're building a $3 million youth media studio, unlike anything that we've seen built in the United States right now. And it's a collaboration with Denver Housing Authority, Denver Public Schools, the treatment centers, and the artists, and us. That'll open in August of 2013. We're certainly going to need a lot of help from now until then. We got close to $1 million gift from the Denver Housing Authority. We still have about $2 million to raise to outfit this studio, but we did get our first gift this week from the Anschutz Foundation, which is exciting. So just info@flobots.org if you're interested, inspired, and have questions. You can find us, and Facebook too. We're flobots.org on Facebook, flobots.org on Twitter.
And people can go to the flobots.org website today.
Flobots.org website.
For donating.
Yep, they can go to the flobots.org website today to donate, and youthmediastudiodenver.org to donate. But and then just obviously for Colorado Gives Day, if donating online helps us get kind of a little closer to the match that they're offering today. So.
Awesome. Well, I wish I could talk to you guys more because I know there's so much to your programs and you're doing some really awesome things. But Jamie did offer up, Melina, that potentially we could get you to rap or maybe at least do some spoken word, a little poetry or something.
Yeah, this is a verse off of a track called Fanbiz. I wrote this song in collaboration with DJ Icewater, a DJ out of Brooklyn. He was becoming a father. I'm a father. I got a little boy. My son is actually on the track. And we just put this track on a compilation called the 1011 Tapes, Volume 1. We will be at 1011 Navajo when we open our studio. So the 1011 Tapes, Volume 1, you could find this amazing compilation of Denver music online. And this is the verse from Fanbiz. Let's take it back to the essence in the park. Hip hop bump at the barbershop. Let's take it back to the beats. Kiss the DJ, grilling up grub on a Sunday. Now this is a drop for the moms and the pops and the moms and pop spots on the block. B-boys, B-girls, all the kids. This for my son, Mr. Is the Wiz, cause this family biz. Call back your born day. 2 brown eyes just appeared. A life in my hands, soul shift. That's why I stay so focused. I gotta think about the fathers locked in jail. 1 for your time, 2 for bail, 3 for the men who were raising kids like they your own, just family biz. Come on, I need a DJ or a band behind me, but that's a verse
awesome.
from Fanbiz.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in. Thanks for the rap. Thank you for being here.
Thanks,
we
Steve.
really appreciate the work you're doing in
Thank you so
Colorado
much.
and in Denver. So we are going to move on to the next nonprofit. Don't forget about our celebration tonight from 5 p.m. until 9. We're going to have beer, wine, and food from Footers Catering, Barefoot Wines, and the Colorado Licensed Beverage Association, along with a bunch of entertainment and some good fun celebrating a wonderful Colorado Gives Day. Thank you.